recording does not look like it's
Oh,
okay.
it's not starting?
The recording is starting now.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Me.
You're good to start now.
Okay. So this is our project design plan. I'm David, and I'm Scrum Master.
I'm Lindsay Phipps and I'm the product manager.
I'm Maya Stubbs. I'm one of the development team members.
And I'm Danielle Macias. I'm the other development team member.
So our product is called Sports Hive, and the problem that we originally stumbled across was concerning the struggle of fostering connections between members of the sports communities. While there are platforms that allow for sports discussion, we found that there was a lack of a way to connect based on geography. This disconnect hinders the formation of bonds between certain people, the ability to organize real-world meetings, or even just conversations that wouldn't be possible without a platform that connects sports and geography. Sports fans can be left feeling isolated or discouraged without the ability to share their passion with others in this way. The solution is that we developed Sports Hive, and that is a web platform that encourages deeper connections between sports fans by location-based services, multimedia sharing, and the creation of message boards. Our platform will emphasize the formation of bonds or communities where those in local proximity can use this to share and deepen their passion for sports. While we are putting emphasis on location-based features, participation in our website does not mandate sharing location, as our intention is not to restrict connections between people, but to broaden opportunities and encourage interaction. We intend to implement community guidelines, moderation tools, and security and safety measures to ensure that this website is welcoming to all.
All right, so this is our system context model. We're going to be using MongoDB for our database and React.js for our front end and Node.js for our back end, which is a merge stack. Since we're going to be using features for geographic communities, we will implement our map API, and our user authentication will be implemented through MongoDB. So the potential risk that can be associated with Sports Hive is the possibility of escalation of violent interactions in the communities. The likelihood of this happening is low since most conflicts will be online. However, there is a high potential impact that can affect our users as well as the reputation of our platform. In order to mitigate this, we have an establishment of community guidelines. We will provide users with meetup safety protocols, and there will be moderation within the site for abusive language, as well as warning and banning systems. And then another risk that may occur is location data being exploited by other users on the site. There is a medium likelihood for this since the platform's main use is to connect users through location. This would lead to a high impact because of malicious intents from other users. In order to mitigate this, we will not use precise location data. We will use a secure map API to avoid security breaches, and there will be moderation features for the user to report suspicious activity.
Okay, so our first user story is finding and joining communities based on location. Um, so the big thing about this one is that the main reason we implemented it was to foster communities between fans of teams or sports that are not common in the area. So say like I don't know, like the jazz fans of Mexico City, right? So users should be able to search for communities by city, state, or country. They should also be able to search for communities by the team they support or the sport they follow. Um, each community should display the number of members it has, as well as the member cap, and users should receive updates from communities that they join. Yeah. So our second user story is the ability to organize and attend live events. So this is one of our key features and one of the reasons it's location based in the first place. Um, we want users to be able to have events together. So an organizer should be able to set a time, date, and place. Um, people in the community should have the ability to RSVP, and there should be abilities for schedule changes or event cancellation in the event that is necessary. Also, users should get notifications of events they have RSVP to.
Our third user story we want to highlight is one about sharing images and videos on message boards so that there are more ways for fans to engage with other fans beyond simple text. Sports fans will be able to upload images and videos along with text to their message boards. These media elements will be displayed in an organized gallery format, and other users will be able to like and dislike these posts and comment on them. As for our project backlog, this is our entire project backlog for both sprints. However, for sprint one, we will just be working on product backlog items 1 through 4, which entails allowing users to create message boards with names and descriptions, which we decided would take 5 hours, along with public and private visibility settings with invite functionality, 3 hours, letting users find, join, and create communities based on location, teams, or athletes, another 5 hours, and letting users create and manage events with date, time, and location details, which we decided would take about 3 hours to implement. And for our velocity, we have 32 total PBI points, which divided by our 2 sprints gives us approximately 16 hours of work to do each sprint. And for capacity, our group size is 4, and we decided that we can each commit around 3 hours per week to the project. And when multiplied by 2 weeks, this gives us about 24 hours of work possible per sprint. As for issues that we've come across, we haven't really come across any issues communication wise. We've been doing pretty good. And so for our next steps, we're just working on tasks in our project backlog.
Yeah, and that is
That'll
our
be all.
presentation.
All right, let's see. Should I go through my notes here? Presentation was good. I don't think there were any major sections that were missing. Yep, that's fine. Nothing missing there. Okay, great. Let's see. So I have one immediate comment. I'm actually about to make a Slack notification about this. This is not a mistake on your part, but it is 3 weeks per sprint, not 2. The presentation instructions mistakenly said 2 weeks in the capacity calculation. I have edited it to say 3 weeks, but I just want to let you know for your planning, I'm not taking any points off because it said 2 weeks in the formula. That it's not your fault. But just let you know it is 3 weeks per sprint, so you have an extra week of time on each one. I mean, it's realistically probably about what you were planning around anyway, given it's just the rest of the semester. But yeah, per sprint it is 3 weeks per sprint. So other than that, did I have any specific questions? So when you have finding and joining communities based on location, is this any kind? Are you planning on doing any kind of like geo tracking to automatically detect the location, or is it just like select the location from like a drop down menu or a search menu or something of that sort?
We're thinking something like that or zip code-ish. Part of it is like the security. Like we said, we didn't want to use precise location for that exact reason. So yeah, probably something like that or just by zip code.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, in terms of the security thing, anytime if you're using a web page to request a location, the user gets prompted whether they want to share their location or not. So probably not a big issue with security, but it is a potential issue with security. And I don't think it's a problem to have to self-enter it. That's how most websites that do this kind of thing do it anyway. I was just asking because I was curious, not because it's a problem. So in terms of, this is sort of a logistical question. It's probably fine. When it says you have a plan of like people should be able to upload images, videos, or text, in terms of uploading videos, are you planning on actually trying to implement video hosting of some kind into your database, or are you planning on just implementing that through like external video embeds, for example?
Honestly, we hadn't really gotten to that
Yeah.
about our approach yet, but yeah, I don't know. What would you recommend?
I would probably say for videos are a lot of space. on a database, and storing them is a little bit more complicated. Like storing an image on a database, images are stored as a text file basically, and then re-rendered based on that text file. That's fairly easy to do. Videos are a little bit more complicated. Obviously, like ultimately everything is basically stored as a text file just with a lot of data in it, but that does get fairly large. I would probably recommend using an external embed system and then just incorporating that into your application. Either just saying you have a built-in method to embed YouTube videos or videos from any platform if you can extend it to that. That probably should work. That's definitely the easier method. Or at least it is the easier method in terms of like the difficulty of storing something on your database. Getting the external website embeds to work might end up being more difficult or less difficult. I would say pick one and try it. But if you are having trouble getting videos stored on your database, if that's causing problems, doing an external embed solution would probably work as well. So just make sure you're aware of that pretty much.
Okay, thanks.
But yeah, and again, either one is fine, and not having that defined at this stage is also fine, because you don't know which one's necessarily the better solution until you actually like sit down and try to implement them. So, yeah, other than that, I don't think I have any major concerns. The plan is good. It looks like, hang on, I'm down here. You had for your product backlog, have you fully defined which product backlog items you're doing in Sprint 1 and which product backlog items you're doing in Sprint 2 yet?
Yeah, for sprint one, we're going to be doing the product backlogs 1 through 4, and then I
Okay.
believe it's like I don't have the presentation pulled up on my
Yeah, okay, and then
here,
just
but
the rest of them for Sprint 2.
yeah, and then the rest of them would be in sprint 2.
Okay, what were the 7 backlog items that were presented in the slides? Was that your full product backlog?
That should be the full product
Okay.
backlog.
There may be a bit high level, and could potentially be broken down, but if you conceptualize them at this level and they just have like subtasks, that's also fine. It's not a big deal. They would probably, because again, it's different from different what depending on what team or what company you're working at, they all have different standards for how high level versus granular a product backlog item should be. So I don't think these are bad or wrong. I think they would probably be broken down into smaller components at most companies, but that's also considering most companies have uh really large projects that need to be broken down into granular elements in order to actually be able to get anything done on them. Whereas this, in terms of the scope, you can have something that's a bigger item with some subtasks and still be able to complete those items within a short time frame. So should be fine. No major concern there. Just wanted to ask about it. Yeah. So unless y'all have any questions or comments, we should be good to go. You have the recording, which will save to your computer as soon as you stop the recording and leave the call. You need to upload that recording to YouTube. It can be an unlisted or public video, depending on whether you want it to be viewable or not. But what it cannot be is it cannot be a private video because then I can't see it when you send me the link. So get it uploaded to YouTube, copy the link to that video and add it as a comment on the assignment where you submitted your slides, which is, again, the group assignment, so just one person needs to do that. And you need to make sure that that is done by the end of today. I'll be checking for those videos being added over the weekend, so if it's not there when I'm checking it for grading, then you might lose some points, but just get it on there by today and you should be good. All right, any questions or comments from y'all? All right, great. In which case, have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you next week for the start of Sprint 1.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
You do.